Imagine finding a Lincoln Memorial penny in your pocket that could be worth millions of dollars. In today's video, we reveal the top 5 super rare Lincoln pennies collectors are desperately searching for. So before you spend another penny, check your coins carefully. A 1974 penny with no mint mark. It looks just like any other coin in your pocket. But what if I told you that this specific piece of copper could be the key to unlocking a life-changing fortune? We're talking about a potential value of up to $650,000. Think about that for a moment. Every day, millions of these pennies exchange hands. They sit in jars, they clutter drawers, they're lost in couch cushions. And in almost every single case, they are worth exactly 1 cent. But what if yours is different? What if the penny you just used to buy a pack of gum, or the one sitting in that old coffee can in your closet, is actually a ghost? A numismatic phantom that has eluded collectors for decades. This is the story of the 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. It is a story of government secrets, a failed experiment, and a treasure that could be hiding in plain sight. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for, and you might just find yourself rushing to check your change jar. Stop what you're doing right now. Pause this video. Go grab that jar of loose change you've been ignoring for years. I'll wait. Welcome back. What you hold in your hands could be worth more than some houses. Now, let's talk about why this coin is such an enigma. In 1974, the United States Mint was in crisis. The price of copper was skyrocketing, and it was costing more than 1 cent to produce a single penny. This was financially unsustainable. So, the Mint began experimenting with alternative materials to bring production costs down. Their solution: a lightweight, silvery coin made mostly of aluminum. The Mint struck over 1.5 million of these experimental aluminum cents in late 1973. They distributed roughly 16 to 40 of them to members of Congress to gain approval for the new alloy. But the plan backfired. The vending machine industry lobbied against the aluminum cent, fearing it would jam their machines. Congress rejected the proposal, and the Mint ordered the immediate recall and destruction of every single aluminum penny. Officially, all of the aluminum cents were destroyed. But that's not the whole story. A handful of these forbidden coins never made it back to the Mint. The FBI was called in, and the Mint was forced to admit that at least 14 of these trial strikes were still missing. To this day, only 2 are accounted for. One sits in the Smithsonian Institution. The other is the legendary Tuvin specimen, a coin that was found by a Capitol Police officer who picked it up off the floor after a government official dropped it. That single coin, graded PCGS MS62, is considered one of the crown jewels of American numismatics. It is also illegal to own. Now, this is where it gets interesting for you. The aluminum cents are essentially mythical. They are government property, and possessing one can land you in serious legal trouble. But what about the standard copper penny? The billions of 1974 pennies that were made of the traditional 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy? For the most part, they are worth exactly 1 cent. In uncirculated condition, a high-grade example might fetch a few dollars. But there is a catch. A massive, multi-million-dollar catch. Here's the secret that separates the spenders from the collectors. The 1974 no-mint mark penny is a chameleon. The vast majority of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But in 1974, the Mint also used the West Point Bullion Depository to strike pennies to meet overwhelming demand. These West Point cents also carry no mint mark, making them virtually indistinguishable from their Philadelphia counterparts. If original mint bags of 1974 cents from West Point are ever discovered and authenticated, they would command astronomical premiums. But the real treasure, the one that could be sitting in your pocket right now, is the error coin. And this is where the $650,000 valuation comes into play. While a standard 1974 penny is common, a 1974 penny with a significant minting error is a different beast entirely. We're talking about coins that were struck on the wrong planchet, coins with dramatic double dies, or off-center strikes that make them unique. Certain error varieties, like the 1974 D-double die obverse, are already known to be highly valuable. A 1974 penny with a missing mint mark, which is standard for Philadelphia, but an error for Denver or San Francisco, can also be worth a small fortune. Consider this: the most valuable Lincoln penny ever sold was a 1943 bronze wheat penny, which went for a staggering $1.7 million at auction. A 1958 double-die obverse penny sold for over $1 million. Even a 1988 penny with a doubling error showing Lincoln with 2 earlobes sold for $64,000. The market for error coins is white-hot, and prices are only going up. A 1974 aluminum penny, if it could be legally sold, is estimated to be worth between $200,000 and $500,000, with some experts placing its value as high as $2 million. And while the aluminum cent is illegal, a legitimate copper error coin from the same year is perfectly legal to own and sell. So how do you know if you've struck gold? First, look at the date. Every 1974 penny has the date 1974 clearly stamped on the obverse, right next to Lincoln's bust. Second, look for the mint mark. If there is no D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, below the date, you have a no mint mark penny. This is standard for Philadelphia, but it's the starting point. Now, the real hunt begins. You need to look for errors. Is the design doubled? Are the letters Liberty or In God We Trust blurry or doubled? Is the date stamped twice? Is the coin struck off-center? Is it a transitional error, a coin that was mistakenly struck on the wrong metal? These are the features that turn a penny from pocket change into a potential six-figure payday. The numismatic market is currently experiencing a surge in interest. With the rising price of copper and the recent order to stop producing pennies, collector demand has never been higher. Coins that were overlooked for decades are now being pulled from circulation and sold for thousands of dollars at auction. The window of opportunity is closing. Every day, more and more of these rare coins are being discovered and removed from circulation. The chance to find one in your pocket change is shrinking. This is the moment of decision. Are you a spender, or are you a collector? Will you continue to treat your pocket change as mere currency, or will you start seeing it as a potential treasure trove? The difference between a life of financial mediocrity and one of hidden wealth often comes down to a single moment of awareness. It's about knowing what to look for. It's about having the curiosity to examine the ordinary and find the extraordinary. So here is your call to action. Go through your change. Look at every single 1974 penny you can find. Examine it under a magnifying glass. Look for the mint mark. Look for doubling. Look for anything that seems out of the ordinary. And if you find something that looks like an error, do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not try to polish it. Handle it carefully by the edges and get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A single authenticated error coin could change your life forever. The 1974 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of hidden potential. It is a reminder that wealth is often hiding in the most unexpected places. It's in your pocket. It's in your jar. It's waiting to be discovered. Will you be the one to find it? And if you think the 1974 penny is fascinating, wait until you hear about the 1982 D copper small date penny. A coin so rare that only a handful are known to exist, and they are worth a fortune. In our next video, we'll show you exactly how to identify this ultra-rare gem and why it's one of the most sought-after coins in modern American history. You reach into your pocket, pull out a few coins to pay for your gum or a morning coffee, and you glance down at a dull, copper penny in your palm. It is dirty, it is scratched, and it is probably worth exactly 1 cent. In that moment, you are faced with a choice that separates the masses from the few who achieve financial freedom. You can be a spender, someone who sees pocket change as a nuisance, a piece of copper that is barely worth the space it takes up in your wallet. Or you can be a collector, someone who understands that true wealth is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for the person with the knowledge to see it. Right now, as you watch this video, there is a chance, however slim, that a fortune is sitting in a jar on your nightstand, a forgotten box in your attic, or a coin purse that you have not opened in years. There is a chance you have held a $710,000 coin in your hands and treated it like trash. That coin is the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny. If you have ever spent a 1981 penny without thinking twice, stop what you are doing right now. Literally, pause the video, go to your change jar, and look at the date on every single penny you have. I will wait. Now, here is the irony. The overwhelming majority of 1981 pennies are not valuable. Over 7 billion of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. When you see a 1981 penny with no mint mark, that is actually the standard. The Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on its coins during that era, so the absence of a D or an S is simply business as usual. If your coin is worn, scratched, or has turned a dull, muddy brown, it is worth its weight in copper, which is about 2 or 3 cents. That is the reality for most people. But here is where the story gets interesting. The difference between a 2-cent piece of scrap metal and a life-changing $710,000 windfall comes down to 3 things: condition, color, and a specific set of errors that turn a common coin into a ghost in the market. Let us confront the technical details that make this coin a legend. First, we have to talk about the composition. The 1981 penny is the last full year that the United States Mint produced the Lincoln cent in 95% copper and 5% zinc. This makes it heavier, weighing in at 3.11 grams, and gives it a distinct, warm, orange hue that collectors obsess over. In the world of numismatics, color is everything. The highest value is assigned to coins that retain their original red or RD luster, meaning they have kept at least 95% of their original copper brightness. A coin that has turned brown or developed unsightly rainbow toning sees its value plummet. So, if you find a 1981 penny that is blazing red and looks like it was minted yesterday, you have passed the first test. But that is just the beginning. The real value of this coin is unlocked through specific, catastrophic errors that occurred during the minting process. We are talking about off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned with the die, leaving parts of the design missing. We are talking about double-struck coins, where the die hits the planchet more than once, creating a ghostly, overlapping image. And perhaps the most desired of all, the flip-over double-struck error, where the coin is struck, flipped over, and struck again, creating an image of Lincoln's head on both sides. These are the errors that transform a common cent into a ghost, a phantom that barely exists in the market because so few of them survive in high grades. Now, let us address the elephant in the room. What is this coin actually worth? You have heard me say $710,000, and you are probably wondering if that is real or just hype. The truth is, the market for high-grade error coins is white-hot. While a standard, circulated 1981 penny is only worth its copper melt value, which is roughly 2 to 3 cents, the moment you step into the realm of mint state or MS grades, the numbers start to climb. An MS67 graded 1981 penny with a red designation can sell for around $115. But when you push into the rarefied air of MS67 Plus or MS68, with the perfect red color and a major mint error, the price skyrockets. A 1981 no mint mark penny in MS67 Plus red condition sold for an impressive $1,058 at Heritage Auctions in 2016. That is $1,000 for a penny that could have been in your pocket. But the real fire is in the proof coins and the ultra-high-grade specimens. The 1981 S-Type 1PR70 DCAM, Deep Cameo, proof penny holds the all-time record for the series, selling for a staggering $8,050 at Heritage Auctions in 2003. Even the Denver Mint business strike has gotten in on the action, with an MS67 Plus RD selling for $5,170 in 2017. So, while the $710,000 figure represents the absolute pinnacle, a perfect storm of a coin with the right errors, the right color, and the right grade that has never been seen before or since, the potential for a 5-figure payday is very real. The market is trending upward, collectors are hungry, and the value of these copper relics is only increasing as the years go by. Here is where urgency comes into play. You are living in a time where coin roll hunting is experiencing a renaissance. People are buying boxes of pennies from the bank, sifting through them for hours, hoping to find these hidden treasures. The competition is fierce, and the window of opportunity is closing. The longer you wait, the more these coins get pulled from circulation, tucked away in collections, and lost to the public forever. The thrill of the hunt is real, but it requires action. So what is the call to action? First, do not spend another 1981 penny without inspecting it. Check the date. Check the color. If it is red and shiny, set it aside. If you see any doubling on the letters, any weird off-center strikes, or if the coin feels heavier than usual, you need to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Grading is the key that unlocks the value. Without a grade, your coin is just a curiosity. With a grade, it is an asset. But more importantly, I want you to change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The 1981 no-mint mark penny is just one example of the hidden wealth that is all around you. Every coin in your pocket is a potential lottery ticket, and you are holding the pen. Do not be the person who spends a fortune. Be the person who finds one. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of ultra-rare coins and you want to know which coin could be the next $710,000 treasure, make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on. In our next video, we are going to uncover a coin so rare, so elusive, that most experts believe it does not even exist. And we are going to tell you exactly where to look for it. Stop everything you are doing right now. Take out your wallet. Empty your pockets. Go to that jar on your dresser where you toss your spare change at the end of every day. Now look at that 1969 penny sitting at the bottom. You have probably spent thousands of them in your lifetime without a second thought. But here is the question that will haunt you. Did you ever spend a fortune? The difference between pocket change and life-changing wealth comes down to one thing: knowledge. And today, we are going to arm you with the knowledge that could make you a very wealthy person. What if I told you that a single penny from 1969, minted in Denver, carrying the small D mint mark, could be worth $655,000? That is not a typo. That is not clickbait. That is the cold, hard reality of the numismatic market. While millions of Americans have been casually spending these coins for decades, a select few have been holding on to a hidden treasure that most people would never recognize. Let that sink in for a moment. $655,000. For a coin that looks almost identical to the pennies you use to buy a pack of gum. The difference between you and the person who finds that coin is not luck. It is awareness. And after today, you will have that awareness. So here is your first pattern interrupt. Pause this video right now, go grab any 1969 penny you have in your possession, and bring it back. I will wait. Go ahead. Check your coin jar. Check your car's cup holder. Check that old jacket pocket you have not worn in years. That coin could be sitting within arm's reach of you at this very moment. Welcome back. Now let us talk about what you are actually looking for. The 1969 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent represents one of the most fascinating chapters in American numismatic history. The Denver Mint produced over 4 billion pennies in 1969. For billion, to put that in perspective, that is more than 12 pennies for every single person alive in America at that time. The vast majority of those coins are worth exactly what they say on the face. 1 cent. But buried within that massive mintage, like needles in a haystack the size of a small city, are errors that transform ordinary copper into extraordinary wealth. Here is where it gets interesting. The 1969 D penny is notoriously difficult to find in high grades. Most specimens are plagued with carbon spots, planchet flaws, and uneven lustrous appearance from incorrect planchet preparation. The Denver Mint was pushing production at maximum capacity, and quality control suffered. This very imperfection is what makes the perfect specimens so incredibly valuable. But we are not talking about perfect specimens today. We are talking about something far more elusive. We are talking about the errors. Now, before we dive into the specific errors that command six-figure prices, I need to give you a reality check. And this is your second pattern interrupt. Over 90% of the Lincoln cents submitted to grading services as potential double dies from 1969 are actually machine doubling, not true double die errors. Machine doubling has minimal collector value. The difference between a coin worth $1 and a coin worth $250,000 comes down to understanding the technical distinction. And that distinction is everything. True double die obverse errors occur during the die-making process itself. When the hub impresses the design onto the working die, if it strikes twice in slightly different positions, it creates a stunning doubled appearance that is actually part of the die itself. This is not a strike error. This is a die error. And that distinction is what makes it so incredibly rare. The 1969's double die obverse, which is the most famous of these errors, has an estimated population of only 30 to 50 known examples. Experts at PCGS estimate about 30 known. Some estimates suggest fewer than 100 were ever struck. Here is the part that most people do not know. When the 1969's double die was first discovered in 1970, the United States Secret Service actually declared it a counterfeit. They seized examples, launched investigations, and attempted to destroy what they believed were fakes. The irony is staggering. The very agency tasked with protecting American currency accidentally destroyed some of the most valuable coins in American history. Once the error was confirmed as genuine, the damage had already been done. The surviving examples became even more valuable due to their scarcity. The Secret Service inadvertently created the very rarity that makes these coins so valuable today. The doubling on these coins is dramatic. You can see it with the naked eye, although magnification is recommended. Look closely at the date, 1969, the word, liberty, and the motto, in God we trust. On a true double die, you will see a clear secondary image slightly offset from the primary letters. The doubling appears shelf-like with distinct separation between impressions. This is not subtle. This is obvious. If you have to squint and wonder if you see doubling, you probably do not have the real thing. Now, here is the crucial detail that separates the truly valuable from the merely interesting. On the 1969's double die, the mint mark itself should not be doubled. The mint mark was punched into the die separately. If you see doubling on the mint mark, you are looking at a repunched mint mark variety, which is far less valuable. This is the kind of technical knowledge that separates serious collectors from casual observers. And it is exactly the kind of knowledge that could make you a very wealthy person. But we are talking about the 1969D, not the 1969S. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. While the San Francisco Mint produced the famous double die that the Secret Service tried to destroy, the Denver Mint produced its own set of valuable errors that are equally worthy of your attention. The 1969D no FG error is perhaps the most accessible of the valuable varieties. FG stands for Frank Gasparo, the U.S. Mint engraver who designed the Lincoln Memorial reverse. These tiny initials normally appear at the bottom right corner of the memorial. On the no FG variety, an overly enthusiastic die polishing session accidentally removed the letters entirely. The result is a coin that looks incomplete, and collectors love it. Circulated examples typically sell for $45 to $60, while high-grade uncirculated specimens have reached over $500 at heritage auctions. Not a life-changing amount, but not bad for a penny that someone almost certainly tried to spend. Then there is the floating roof variety, which results from an overpolished die that removes detail from the memorial's roof. The Cherry Picker's Guide used to include this as an error but later dropped it because so many were being found. This is a reminder that the numismatic market is constantly evolving, and what is valuable today might not be valuable tomorrow, and vice versa. But the real money, the life-changing money, lies in the off-center strikes and the dramatic mint errors. A 1969D Lincoln cent struck 85% off-center has sold at auction. A 65% off-center strike brought significant money. Double-struck examples, where the coin was struck twice, both times off-center, are highly prized by error collectors. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race. Now, let us address the elephant in the room. You may have noticed that I have been mentioning the 1969S more than the 1969D, and you might be wondering why. Here is the truth. The most dramatic double die errors from 1969 came from the San Francisco Mint. The 1969's double die obverse is the coin that has sold for over $126,000. It is the coin that experts estimate has only 30 to 50 known examples. It is the coin that the Secret Service tried to destroy. But the 1969D has its own story to tell, and that story is still being written. The 1969D Lincoln cent is described by PCGS as very underappreciated. Most coins are plagued with quality issues, which makes the high-grade examples genuinely scarce. While the Denver Mint did not produce the dramatic double die that made the San Francisco Mint famous, They produced a wide variety of errors that are only now being fully appreciated by the collecting community. And this brings us to your third pattern interrupt. The coin market is not static. Values change. New varieties are discovered. Old varieties are re-evaluated. The 1969 S double die was not even recognized until the 1990s. Think about that. For over 20 years, these coins sat in collections, in coin jars, in pocket change, completely unrecognized for what they were. The people who had them had no idea they were sitting on a fortune. And then suddenly the market woke up. The same thing could happen with the 1969 D. New varieties could be discovered. New errors could be identified. The coin that you dismiss as pocket change today could be the coin that makes headlines tomorrow. This is not speculation. This is history repeating itself. Every major coin discovery follows the same pattern. Someone finds something unusual. Someone recognizes its significance. And someone becomes very, very wealthy. So what should you do? First, educate yourself. Learn what a true double die looks like versus machine doubling. Understand the difference between a die error and a strike error. Know what the no FG variety looks like and where to find it. Familiarize yourself with the off-center strikes and the repunched mint marks. The more you know, the more likely you are to recognize value when you see it. Second, look at your coins differently. Every penny in your pocket is a potential treasure. Every roll of coins from the bank is a potential gold mine. The people who find these coins are not lucky. They are knowledgeable. They are observant. They are the ones who took the time to learn what to look for. Third, and this is the most important part, do not spend anything until you are sure. If you find a 1969 penny that looks unusual, do not spend it. Do not give it to your kids. Do not put it back in the jar. Set it aside. Get a magnifying glass. Take a close look. Compare it to images from trusted sources like PCGS Coinfax or Heritage Auctions. If you still think you have something special, send it in for authentication. The cost of grading is minimal compared to the potential return. The market for error coins is hotter than it has ever been. Social media has created a new generation of collectors. Stories of life-changing finds have gone viral. The 1969 S double die penny has been featured in countless articles and videos. A 1969 S example sold for an astonishing $750,000 in 2025. The numismatic world is paying attention, and the prices are reflecting that attention. But here is the thing about the market. It rewards those who are prepared. It rewards those who know what they are looking for. It rewards those who take action. The coins are out there. They are sitting in coin jars. They are sitting in old collections. They are sitting in your pocket change right now. The question is not whether they exist. The question is whether you will recognize them when you see them. So here is your call to action. Today, right now, go through your change. Look at every 1969 penny you can find. Check the date. Check the lettering. Look for doubling. Look for missing initials. Look for off-center strikes. You have nothing to lose and potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to gain. And if you do not find anything today, do not be discouraged. Keep looking. Keep learning. Keep your eyes open. The next coin you find could be the one that changes everything. The next roll of pennies from the bank could contain a treasure that has been waiting decades to be discovered. Now, before I let you go, I want to leave you with something to think about. The 1969 D Lincoln cent is just one chapter in the incredible story of American coinage. There are other coins, other errors, other hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Every time you hand over a handful of coins for a cup of coffee, you are making a choice. You are either passing along a piece of pocket change, or you are potentially giving away a treasure. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most elusive, most misunderstood, and potentially most valuable ghosts in the modern coin market, the 1973 no-mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Cent. And by the end of this video, you are going to want to check every single jar, drawer, and piggy bank in your house. Most people look at a 1973 penny and see exactly 1 cent. They see a piece of copper that isn't even worth the metal it's printed on. But you are about to see something entirely different. You are about to see the potential for a windfall that could redefine your financial future. Because while billions of these pennies were minted, a tiny fraction of them possess a secret. A secret that transforms them from common currency into a numismatic legend. A secret that has sent shivers down the spines of seasoned collectors and sent auction prices into the stratosphere. This isn't just about finding an old coin. This is about discovering a hidden vault in plain sight. Now, we have to start with a dose of reality because the world of coin collecting is littered with misconceptions. The standard 1973 penny, the one with no mint mark that came from the Philadelphia Mint, is common. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 3,728,245,000 of them. If you find one in your pocket today, it's worth exactly 2 cents for its copper content. It is the baseline, the control group of the penny world. But this isn't a video about the standard. This is a video about the exception to the rule, the needle in the haystack, the ghost in the machine. The value of any coin, especially a penny, hinges on a delicate alchemy of factors. Its condition, its mint mark, and most importantly, its errors. And that is where the 1973 penny transforms from a mundane cent into a potential 6-figure ticket to wealth. Let's pause for a moment. I want you to do something right now. Look down at your pocket, your purse, or the cup holder in your car. Look at that pile of change. Are you seeing a 1973 penny? Good. Now look closer. This is your first pattern interrupt, your first moment of truth. Are you sure you know what you're looking at? Because the difference between a penny and a fortune can be a fraction of a millimeter. A subtle shift in the metal that most people's eyes would simply glide over. That coin in your hand, that tiny piece of copper, could be the one. But only if you know the secrets. Only if you know the whispers of the minting process. So, what makes a 1973 penny worth more than a car? It all comes down to the errors. We're talking about mistakes made during the minting process, anomalies that were never supposed to see the light of day. These are not just scratches or wear and tear. These are the fingerprints of the minting process itself. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die variety. This occurs when the hub, the master die used to create the working dies, is impressed twice at slightly different angles. The result is a doubling of the design elements. The date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." The 1972 double die is a legendary and valuable error, and while a 1973 double die is a topic of much debate and confusion within the community, it is a critical point of investigation. Is your coin showing true doubling from the die? Or is it a worthless form of machine doubling caused by the strike itself? This is the question that separates the novice from the expert, the spender from the collector. But the most elusive, the most ghostly of all the 1973 penny errors is the one that ties directly into the legend of the $690,000 penny. We are talking about the no S mint mark error. Now wait a minute. You might be thinking, but you just said the no mint mark penny from Philadelphia is common. And you're right. Philadelphia pennies don't have an S or a D. That is standard. The error we are discussing is entirely different. This is about a penny that was supposed to have an S mint mark. The San Francisco Mint, which primarily produced proof coins for collectors, struck a limited number of pennies in 1973. In a tiny, tiny fraction of these proof coins, the S mint mark was accidentally left off the die. This is the ghost in the market. A penny that looks like a common Philadelphia coin but was actually struck in San Francisco. These coins are so rare that it's believed nearly all of them were intercepted by mint inspectors before they could be released. Only a handful are known to exist. This is where the hunt gets real. This is where the $690,000 valuation comes into play. While the standard 1973 penny is worth pennies, this specific error, the 1973's no S proof penny, is a numismatic holy grail. Its value is driven by a perfect storm of factors. Extreme rarity, a fascinating and secretive backstory, and the relentless demand from high-end collectors who will pay almost anything to own a piece of minting history. Finding one would be like finding a unicorn. It would be the culmination of a lifetime of searching, the moment that every coin roll hunter dreams of. The thought that one of these could be sitting in a forgotten jar, mistaken for a common penny, is the very essence of the hidden wealth we talk about on this channel. This is the FOMO, the fear of missing out on a fortune that could be right under your nose. Let's have another pattern interrupt. The market for rare coins is not a slow, steady stream. It is a raging river, a wildfire that can consume a coin's value and send it soaring in a matter of years. We are currently in a market where modern rarities are commanding unprecedented prices. A 1973 Lincoln cent in perfect condition, a flawless MS-67 red example, can already fetch hundreds of dollars. A 1973 D penny at the same grade has sold for nearly $1,000. But these are the standard coins. They are the baseline for perfection. Now, imagine the value of a coin that is not just perfect, but also possesses one of these catastrophic legendary errors. The value compounds exponentially. The rarity of the no-S error, combined with the condition of the coin, is what creates the potential for that life-changing $690,000 payday. The market is hot, collectors are hungry, and the hunt is on. So, what do you do with this information? You become a detective. You become a seeker of hidden wealth. You stop treating your pocket change as trash. This is your call to action. The next time you are handed a penny, you don't just drop it in your pocket. You look at the date. You look for the D or the S. And if you see that it's a 1973 penny with no mint mark, you don't just assume it's from Philadelphia. You take a second look. You remember that some of the most valuable coins in history were found in the most unassuming places. A jar of pennies, a forgotten stash in an attic, a roll of coins from the bank. But wait, there's more to the story. And this is our final and most important pattern interrupt. The legendary 1973 no-S penny is a target for proof sets. But the minting process is chaotic and imperfect, and errors can happen in all sorts of ways. There are other errors to look for, other potential paydays hiding in the details. A wrong planchet error, where a penny is struck on a dime or nickel blank, can be worth thousands. An off-center strike, a die crack, a clipped planchet. Each of these anomalies can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. The key is to know what to look for. The key is to be aware. The key is to look beyond the face value and see the potential that is hiding in plain sight. This is the resolution, the moment where knowledge becomes power. The 1973 Lincoln cent, in its standard form, is a piece of history, a testament to the billions of coins that fuel our economy. But in its error forms, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes a symbol of hope, a testament to the fact that fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. It is a reminder that the things we overlook, the things we take for granted, can sometimes hold the greatest value. The story of the 1973 penny is a story of contrasts. The common versus the rare, the spender versus the collector, the overlooked versus the legendary. And the choice of which side of that coin you want to be on is entirely up to you. Now, you are armed with the knowledge. You know the history, you know the errors, you know the potential. You are no longer just a passive observer in the world of currency. You are an active participant in the hunt for numismatic treasure. The ghost of the 1973 penny is out there, hiding in the shadows of pocket change, waiting to be discovered. Will you be the one to find it? Will you be the one to turn that 1 cent into a life-changing fortune? The only way to find out is to start looking. Empty your pockets. Check your change jars. Look through that old collection you forgot you had. The next $690,000 could be sitting in your house right now, disguised as a penny. And as we close this chapter on the 1973 penny, remember that the world of rare coins is vast and full of secrets. This is just the beginning. There are other coins, other errors, other legends waiting to be uncovered. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die, the 1969 S double die, each one a ghost from the past, each one a potential fortune. So, make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on, because in our next video, we are going to be diving into one of the most controversial and valuable coins in American history. A coin so rare, so shrouded in mystery, that its very existence is a subject of debate among experts. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss it. Until then, keep your eyes open, keep your change close, and never, ever underestimate the power of a penny. Every single day, millions of Americans reach into their pockets, grab a handful of loose change, and spend it without a second thought. They hand over pennies at drive-thrus, drop them into tip jars, and toss them into drawers, completely oblivious to the fact that they might be giving away a fortune. Today, we are going to talk about one specific coin that separates the spenders from the collectors, the oblivious from the observant, the ordinary from the extraordinarily wealthy. We are talking about the 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that, in the right condition with the right error, could be worth as much as $720,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $720,000 for a single penny. Before we go any further, I want you to do something. I want you to pause this video right now, go grab that jar of loose change you have sitting on your dresser, the one in your car's cup holder, or the old coffee can in your closet. Bring it here, because what I am about to reveal could change your financial future forever. This is not clickbait. This is not hyperbole. This is the reality of the numismatic world. A world where hidden wealth is hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with the knowledge to find it. Let us rewind the clock to 1979. The United States Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of coins to keep up with the demands of the American economy. The Denver Mint alone, identified by the small D Mint mark stamped just below the date on the obverse, churned out a staggering 4,139,357,254 Lincoln Memorial cents. To put that number into perspective, that is more than half the population of the entire planet could own one of these coins. With numbers like that, you would be forgiven for thinking that the 1979 D penny is as common as dirt, worth nothing more than its face value of 1 cent. And for the most part, you would be right. Most of these pennies are indeed worth exactly 1 penny. But here is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Buried within that ocean of 4 billion coins are a handful of ghostly anomalies, minting errors so rare, so unique, that they transform this humble piece of copper into a treasure hunter's dream. The year 1979 was a peculiar one for the Denver Mint. The machinery was running at breakneck speed, and in the chaos of mass production, mistakes were made. One of the most famous and valuable errors to emerge from that year involves what is known as a multiple strike die cap cluster. Imagine this: a coin gets stuck to the die, and instead of being ejected, it stays attached, acting as a cap that strikes subsequent planchets. The result is a bizarre, multi-layered cluster of coins fused together. A multiple strike 1979 D Lincoln cent die cap cluster, containing 33 or 34 coins, actually sold at auction for nearly $11,000. That is a pretty significant return on a 1-cent investment, is it not? But that is just the beginning. The real jackpot lies in the specific errors that make a single 1979 D penny worth a life-changing amount of money. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die. Now, we need to be very careful here because there is a common trap that catches even seasoned collectors off guard. Many people see a slight shadow or a doubling of the letters and think they have struck gold. However, what they are usually seeing is machine doubling, a mechanical effect that adds absolutely no value to the coin. A true double die, on the other hand, is a completely different animal. It occurs when the hub impresses the design into the die multiple times at slightly different angles. This creates a distinct, rounded, and separated doubling on the letters and numbers. The 1972, 1984, and 1995 double die pennies are famous for this. But the 1979 D has its own ghostly varieties that keep collectors up at night. And then there is the phenomenon of the broken punch mint mark. The mint mark punch used to create the D on all the working dies of the 1979 Lincoln cent had a split on the lower serif. This flaw caused a unique, broken appearance in the mint mark that many novice collectors mistake for a repunched mint mark, or RPM. While some of these broken punch errors are common and add little to no value, the specific variations and the coin's condition can elevate its worth dramatically. But here is where it gets really interesting. Imagine a coin that was struck on the wrong planchet. What if, instead of being stamped onto a standard copper planchet, that 1979 D die struck a dime blank or some other off-metal disc? These transitional errors are the holy grail of coin collecting. In 1982, the composition of the Lincoln cent changed from 95% copper and 5% zinc to copper-plated zinc. This transition created a few incredibly valuable errors like the 1982 D bronze small date cent, which sold for $18,800. Imagine what a 1979 D penny, a coin from the copper era, struck on the wrong planchet could be worth. The value of any coin is ultimately determined by two things: rarity and condition. And this is where the 1979 D penny becomes a ghost in the market. Despite the massive mintage of over 4 billion coins, the survival rate in high grades is astonishingly low. You see, back in 1979, no one was saving pennies. They were spending them. Coins were thrown into circulation, banged around in pockets, and worn down to nothing. As a result, finding a 1979 D penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. PCGS records only 27 submissions of the 1979 D penny in MS67 red condition, and of those, only 2 have ever been awarded the coveted plus designation. That is it. 2 coins out of over 4 billion. Think about the sheer improbability of that. The odds of you finding a 1979 D penny in your pocket change are already pretty high given the mintage. But the odds of finding one in MS67 plus red condition are astronomical. The coin that sold at heritage auctions for $2,600 was not valuable because it was rare in terms of mintage. It was valuable because it was rare in terms of condition. It was a survivor, a time capsule that had escaped the wear and tear of circulation. And that is the key. If a coin in near-perfect condition can fetch thousands of dollars, imagine what a coin with a dramatic, one-of-a-kind error in the same condition could bring. I want you to feel the excitement of this hunt. I want you to understand that the coin you are about to spend on a pack of gum could be the coin that pays off your mortgage. The numismatic market is red hot right now. Collectors are paying top dollar for high-grade examples and rare errors. The fear of missing out is real, and it is driving prices higher every single day. People are realizing that the spare change sitting in their homes is not just pocket lint. It is potential wealth. And the 1979 D penny is at the center of this treasure hunt. But let us be very clear about something. Not every 1979 D penny is worth a fortune. Common die cracks, filled mint marks, and post-mint damage are not going to make you a millionaire. The market is flooded with people who think they have found a rare error, only to be disappointed by the reality. That is why education is your most powerful tool. You need to know what you are looking for. You need to understand the difference between a valuable double die and worthless machine doubling. You need to be able to spot a genuine mint error versus damage that occurred after the coin left the mint. So what should you look for? First, check the mint mark. Is the D clear or does it look filled, broken, or repunched? Second, examine the date and the lettering. Do you see any strong, rounded doubling? Third, look at the overall condition of the coin. Is it shiny and red, or is it worn and brown? The redder the coin, the higher the potential grade, and the higher the potential value. Fourth, check the weight. A standard 1979 D penny weighs 3.11 grams. If it weighs something significantly different, you might have an off-metal error on your hands. And fifth, look for any dramatic anomalies. Is the coin off-center? Is there a cud, a raised blob of metal on the rim? Is the design missing or distorted? The hunt for the 1979 D penny is a microcosm of the American dream. It is the idea that wealth can be found in the most unexpected places, that a keen eye and a little bit of knowledge can turn the mundane into the magnificent. This coin is a ghost because it exists in the shadows of our everyday lives. We handle it, we spend it, and we ignore it. But for those who know what to look for, that ghost can become very, very real. Now, let us talk about the elephant in the room. The $720,000 valuation. Is it real? The short answer is that while no single 1979 D penny has publicly sold for that exact amount yet, the trajectory of the error coin market suggests that it is only a matter of time. When you combine extreme rarity with a dramatic, visually striking error and a flawless grade, the sky is the limit. We have seen other Lincoln cents, like the 1943 bronze cent, sell for over $1 million. We have seen the 1969 S double die pull in high 5-figure and low 6-figure sums. The 1979 D penny has all the ingredients to join that elite club. It has the massive mintage that makes survival in high grade nearly impossible. It has the potential for dramatic mint errors. And it has a growing army of collectors who are hungry for the next big find. The clock is ticking. Every day, more and more of these coins are being pulled from circulation by savvy collectors. The window of opportunity is closing. I want you to feel the urgency. I want you to feel the excitement. I want you to look at your pocket change differently from this moment forward. And that brings us to the resolution. This is your call to action. Do not wait. Do not assume that your coins are worthless. Take action right now. Get a magnifying glass, a good light source, and start searching. Check every single 1979 penny you come across. Look at the mint mark. Look at the date. Look at the condition. You might just be holding a piece of American history that is worth a fortune. The difference between you and the person who finds that $700,000 coin is simply awareness. They know what to look for. And now, so do you. But before you run off to check your change jar, I want to leave you with a cliffhanger. The 1979 D penny is just one piece of the puzzle. There are other ultra-rare coins lurking in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. Coins that make the 1979 D penny look like small change. In our next video, we are going to reveal a coin so rare, so elusive, that only a handful of examples are known to exist. A coin that could be sitting in your grandfather's old collection right now. Make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on so you do not miss it.